Your phone buzzes. You look. There's nothing there. No message. No notification. Just a phantom vibration your own nervous system invented. And 30 seconds later, you check again anyway. You've done this today. Maybe 100 times. You tell yourself it's boredom. You tell yourself it's habit. But the real answer is far stranger, and it has almost nothing to do with willpower. It has to do with a pigeon in a box. In the 1950s, a psychologist named B.F. Skinner placed pigeons inside small chambers with a lever. Peck the lever, get a food pellet. Simple enough. But Skinner didn't stop there. He started changing the rules. Sometimes the lever gave food every time. Sometimes only sometimes. Sometimes not for a long, unpredictable stretch, and then suddenly, food. Guess which pigeons pecked the most? Not the ones who got food every time, the ones who never knew when it was coming. Skinner called this variable ratio reinforcement, and it turned out to be one of the most powerful behavioral forces ever documented. A predictable reward creates a habit. An unpredictable one creates an obsession. Your phone is not a food dispenser, but your brain doesn't know the difference. Every time you unlock your screen, you're pulling a lever. Sometimes there's a message from someone you love. Sometimes there's nothing. Sometimes there's a like, a comment, a notification that makes your chest warm for half a second. You never know which one you're going to get. And that uncertainty is the entire engine. Decades after Skinner's pigeons, a neuroscientist named Wolfram Schultz put electrodes into the brains of monkeys and watched something even stranger happen. He expected dopamine, the brain's chemical messenger for reward, to spike when the monkeys received a treat. It did. But then he noticed something the textbooks hadn't predicted. When the reward became unpredictable, dopamine didn't just spike at the reward, it spiked at the anticipation of it. The wanting became more powerful than the having. Read that again. The chemical reaction wasn't really about the reward. It was about not knowing if the reward was coming. Your brain, it turns out, is not built to chase certainty. It's built to chase maybe. Think about what that means for the object in your pocket right now. Every app on your phone was designed by people who understand this. Not by accident, on purpose. A researcher named Natasha Schüll spent years studying slot machine designers in Las Vegas, and she found something disturbing. The machines weren't built to make people happy. They were built to keep people in what she called the machine zone, a trance-like state where the outside world disappears and only the next pull of the lever matters. When she later looked at the design patterns behind social media feeds, she recognized the same architecture, the infinite scroll, the pull-to-refresh gesture that mimics a slot machine handle, the unpredictable timing of likes and messages. None of it is random. It's Skinner's box, rebuilt in glass and aluminum, and you carry it with you everywhere you go. But here's where the story gets older than Silicon Valley. Because your ancestors had a version of this system too, and it kept them alive. Imagine you're standing in tall grass 60,000 years ago. You hear a rustle. It might be wind. It might be a predator. You don't know. And that not knowing is exactly what makes you freeze, scan, and pay attention. The humans who ignored uncertain signals got eaten. The humans who obsessively checked, who scanned the grass again and again just to be sure, survived long enough to have children. That anxious, checking, scanning brain isn't a flaw in you. It's the reason you exist at all. Your ancestors needed to notice uncertain threats and uncertain opportunities constantly, because the difference between checking and not checking could be the difference between eating and starving, between safety and death. Evolution built you to be exquisitely sensitive to unpredictable information. It just never anticipated a small glass rectangle that could generate unpredictable information on command 1,000 times a day, engineered by people who studied Skinner's pigeons for a living. You are not weak for checking your phone. You are ancient. Your grasslands are gone. But the wiring that scanned them never got the memo. So it scans your notifications instead. It scans group chats. It scans a feed with no bottom and no end, because for most of human history, information genuinely ran out. The tribe finished talking, the horizon went dark. There was an edge to things. Now there isn't, and your brain, still operating on 60,000-year-old software, doesn't know how to stop looking for one. Here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. Studies on notification checking have found that the anxiety of not checking often exceeds the pleasure of what you find when you do. You're not really chasing joy anymore. You're chasing relief from attention your own phone created in the first place. The device manufactures the itch and then sells you the scratch. So what do you do with this? You can't out-willpower a system built by teams of engineers using the same principles that made Skinner's pigeons peck a lever until they nearly starved. Willpower was never going to be enough, because this was never a fair fight. It was never really about you at all. It was about a mismatch between the brain you inherited and the world you were dropped into. But understanding the mechanism changes something. When you feel that pull to check, that phantom buzz, that itch behind your sternum, you can recognize it for what it actually is. Not a message, not a threat in the grass, just an ancient alarm system still faithfully doing its job, ringing for a world that no longer exists. Tonight, your phone will buzz again, and you'll feel that same pull you felt 1,000 times before. But this time, maybe you'll notice it for what it really is. Not weakness, not a flaw in your character. Just the oldest survival instinct you have, reaching for a rustle in grass that was cleared a long, long time ago.